Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another daily devotion. I'm Pastor Roy Carlin here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and I'm recording this devotion on Sunday afternoon for a broadcast on Monday, June 27th of 2022. We are working our way through the Gospel of Matthew. We've made it today to the 20th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. We're getting closer and closer to the end of Matthew. Today is one of my favorite parables, probably second only to the prodigal son. The prodigal son that you find in Luke's gospel is far and away my mostest favoritist of all of the parables, because I don't think you can understand God's nature without the contemplating fully the prodigal son. But likewise, you would be hard pressed to really understand God's insistence on pursuing you and giving to you what you don't deserve without considering the laborers in the vineyard, the workers in the vineyard. So let's look at the first 16 verses of the 20th chapter in Matthew's Gospel and talk about it just a little bit, shall we? For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for a denarius for the day, he sent them into his vineyard. When he went out about 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, "You also go into the vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." So they went. When he went out again about noon, and about 3 o'clock, he did the same. And about 5 o'clock, he went out and found others standing around. And he said to them, "Why are you standing here idle all day?" They said to him, "Because no one has hired us." He said to them, "You also go into the vineyard." When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his manager, "Call the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and then going to the first." When those hired about 5 o'clock came, each of them received a denarius. Now when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them also received a denarius. And when they received it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, "These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat." But he replied to one of them, "Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this last the same as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous? So the last will be first, and the first will be last." Okay. Here we're talking about he's going out and hiring some day laborers, so he's going to pay the bill, so to say, pay their wages each day at the close of day. Now the workday then was a little different than the workday now. This is a 12-hour workday, not this 8-hour workday that we are used to or accustomed to. It's a 12-hour workday from 6 to 6. Okay, 6 in the morning. That's why when he goes out at 9, the first people have already been working for 3 hours. And then he goes out at intervals and keeps hiring people until he goes out just before the end of the day at 5 o'clock and hires some folks to work for the last hour of the day. And such is the case with people that follow God. Some of us are born in the church virtually. Some come to God from their parents, their grandparents. They don't know anything but growing up in the church. I know people always give their witness of their testimony of their conversion experience, and I've done that before myself, talk about how I came to be a Christian. And though I went to church a little bit as a youth, and I went to youth group a little bit, never was very invested in it. And my father never went to church, though he was more Christ-like than most. But that's another story. But mother is agnostic. She's not a Christian. And mother steered away from the church. And so I became an atheist at some point. So I have a conversion story, or maybe a reconversion story, perhaps, though I never really was in. I was never invested as a child, so it's a conversion story. So, at any rate, and Gail talks about that how she doesn't like listening to witness stories because she never really wasn't going to church. The only bad thing she ever did was to pick up Roy and convert Roy to being a believer. That was a good thing. Okay. It's a good thing that she got me straightened out. But at any rate, so you have people that are born into the church. You have people that come to God at different intervals in their lives, at different stages in their lives. And some don't come to God until the very, very, very end, the 11th hour, if that, and perhaps even 11:59. But God doesn't. God wants you to come in early. Now, trust me on that. He wants you to be all in early because He needs you to do that work. There's work to be done to bring others in to the fold. But the idea here is that it's not a works-oriented grace. It's not about how long you labored. It's that you finally accepted God's invitation to come and work. That when He came into the marketplace and said, "Why are you standing here? Do you not want to work? Do you not want to follow me?" It's that you accepted it, not about the length of the acceptance. And I know my mentor Jesse hated this parable. He really did. He just thought that was, he understood it. He just didn't like it because he thought there should be some benefit for being, as he was, a lifelong follower, someone who was born into the church and never wavered, became a minister as a young man, and felt that, he understood it, but he was still like one of those workers at the end, grumbling, and he admitted that. He confessed that sense of feeling, but we really don't want to be that way. We really don't. We really, if we have that, we need to try to work on that understanding that God's grace. God can call whoever He wants to call. He can have grace on whoever He wants. Not our decision, not our judgment, not our place. We're just to go and pick the fruit, harvest the crop. That's what we're called to do. All right. And I think with that, I'm going to let you go. We got Vacation Bible School starting here shortly, and I've got a meeting an hour before Vacation Bible School. We have the Benevolence Committee is meeting to talk about helping out someone here locally, and we've got some need that we need to address. So we've got lots going on, lots of things to do. We've got to do God's work. That's the important thing. Helping those that are in need, teaching the children. Got to work in the vineyard tonight. All right. Be a blessing to someone today. All right. We'll talk to you later. God bless and goodbye.